In the quaint, misty hills of the English countryside, where ancient oaks whispered secrets to the wind and cobblestone paths wound through blooming meadows, there lived a young woman named Emily. She was a vision of grace and intellect, studying literature at the prestigious Oxford College. With her cascading auburn hair that danced like autumn leaves in the breeze, her emerald eyes sparkling with curiosity, and a smile that could melt the frostiest heart, Emily captured the admiration of many. But none were as enchanted as three dashing young men: Alexander, with his poetic soul and tousled dark locks; Benjamin, the adventurous spirit with a laugh like rolling thunder; and Charles, the thoughtful dreamer whose eyes held the depth of the ocean. Alexander, Benjamin, and Charles were inseparable friends, bound by years of shared adventures and unspoken dreams. Each had fallen deeply, irrevocably, in love with Emily. Alexander adored her for the way she recited Shakespeare under the stars, her voice weaving magic into the night. Benjamin cherished her spirit, imagining endless journeys where they could explore hidden glens and forgotten ruins together. Charles loved her quietly, finding solace in her gentle wisdom that soothed his restless thoughts. They all yearned for her with a passion that burned like the hearth fires of their ancestral homes, convinced that life without her would be a shadow of existence. One crisp autumn afternoon, beneath the golden canopy of falling leaves on the college quad, the three friends gathered their courage. With hearts pounding like the bells of a distant chapel, they approached Emily as she sat on a weathered bench, lost in the pages of a beloved novel. Alexander spoke first, his words a tender sonnet. "Emily, my dearest, you are the light that guides my wandering soul. I cannot envision a world without your warmth." Benjamin followed, his voice fervent and true. "You are the adventure I've always sought, the spark that ignites my every dream. I love you more than the wild winds of the moors." Charles, ever the gentle one, added softly, "In your eyes, I see the eternity I've longed for. My heart beats only for you." Emily looked up, her cheeks flushing like rose petals in the dawn. She appreciated their sincerity, for they were kind souls she had known as classmates and friends. But her heart remained untouched by romantic fire. She was devoted to her studies, to the worlds within her books, and to the future she envisioned for herself. "I am honored by your affections," she replied with kindness, "but my heart does not echo yours in love. Let us remain friends, cherishing the bonds we share." The rejection stung like thorns in a blooming rose garden, yet their love only deepened into an ache they could not bear. Days turned to weeks, and the three friends confided in one another under the moonlit skies of their shared cottage. "How can we live without her?" Alexander whispered, his voice laced with longing. "She is the essence of our joy." Benjamin nodded, his eyes fierce with determination. "We must show her the depth of our devotion." Charles, though hesitant, agreed. "Perhaps if she sees our hearts united, she will understand." In their fervor, they devised a plan born of misguided passion, veiled in the hope that it would awaken her to their love. They organized a grand party at a secluded manor on the outskirts of town, inviting the college crowd with promises of music, laughter, and starlit dances. Emily, ever sociable and trusting, accepted the invitation, arriving in a flowing gown that shimmered like moonlight on a tranquil lake. The evening unfolded with enchantment, lanterns flickering like fireflies, melodies floating through the air, and the scent of fresh-baked scones mingling with blooming jasmine. Alexander, Benjamin, and Charles approached Emily one by one, their words dripping with adoration. "Dance with me, my love," Alexander implored, extending his hand like a knight to his queen. "Let us wander the gardens," Benjamin suggested, his smile radiant with hope. "Share a quiet moment under the stars," Charles murmured, his gaze tender and pleading. But Emily, sensing the intensity behind their pleas, turned away gently, her heart unmoved. She mingled with others, laughing lightly, her spirit free and unburdened. The rejection fueled a storm in the boys' hearts. Anger mingled with their love, twisting it into something desperate and dark. As the party waned and guests departed into the velvet night, the three friends offered to escort Emily home, their voices smooth as silk. "It's late, dear Emily. Allow us to ensure your safe return." Trusting their friendship, she climbed into their sleek black car, the engine purring like a contented cat as they drove into the enveloping darkness. But instead of the familiar path to her dormitory, they veered onto winding country roads, the stars above bearing silent witness. "Where are we going?" Emily asked, a flicker of unease in her voice. "We must talk, my beloved," Alexander said, his tone a caress wrapped in urgency. "Our hearts cannot let you go." They pulled over in a secluded glade, where the moon bathed the world in silver. There, in the intimacy of the car, they poured out their souls once more, professing a love so profound it bordered on obsession. Emily, moved by their vulnerability, listened with compassion, her own heart softening in the shared vulnerability of the moment. Words turned to touches, gentle at first, like whispers of affection, and in the heat of their collective longing, boundaries blurred. What transpired was a forbidden intimacy, a tangle of bodies and emotions that should never have unfolded, born not of malice but of a love too fierce to contain. Emily, caught in the whirlwind, became theirs in that stolen night, her innocence yielding to the overwhelming tide of their devotion. As dawn's first light painted the horizon in hues of pink and gold, they drove her home, the air heavy with unspoken regrets and lingering warmth. Emily stepped out, her spirit shadowed by shame, her cheeks flushed not with joy but with confusion. She retreated into silence, avoiding even her closest confidants, the weight of the night pressing upon her like a heavy cloak. In the car, amidst the passion, the boys had knelt before her in earnest plea. "Marry us, Emily," they had begged in unison, their eyes alight with dreams of a shared forever. "Let our love envelop you eternally." But Emily, her voice steady despite the storm within, had refused with grace. "I cherish you all as friends," she explained tenderly, "but I am still in college weaving the threads of my own destiny. Marriage is a sacred bond, and my family, rooted in tradition, would never understand. There are 3 of you, each so dear, yet I can wed only one. My heart must choose freely in its own time." The days that followed were a tapestry of longing and reflection. Alexander, Benjamin, and Charles grappled with the consequences of their actions, their love tempered by remorse. They vowed to honor her wishes, watching from afar as Emily blossomed, her strength shining brighter than ever. In time, perhaps, love would find its true path, not in force, but in the gentle unfolding of hearts aligned. For in the English countryside, where stories of passion endured like the ancient stones, redemption whispered on the wind, promising that true love, when pure, could heal even the deepest wounds.